Hey guys, Henry here, and today I'm going to be talking about the film 5 centimeters per second, going into detail on the plot and explaining what I thought was the meaning of the film. So just a warning, there will be spoilers for 5 centimeters per second, so if you have not seen it, you are warned. So 5 centimeters per second is a Japanese animated film produced and directed by Makoto Shinkai. It is split into 3 parts and is about 1 hour long. So what is it about? What's the general gist? It's about a young love between the characters of Takaki Tono and Akari Shinohara, and the pain and anguish that they experience as the distance between them grows. The film is divided into 3 parts, the first establishing their bond and relationship at childhood, the second following Takaki's progression into high school, and the last depicting their experience within the adult world. So, the first part of the film is called Cherry Blossom, and is about the young relationship of Takaki and Akari, who meet in elementary school and become close friends. After having finished elementary school, Akari tells Takaki that her family is moving, and despite this separation, they promise to write letters to each other and remain in contact and visit each other from time to time. Takaki later learns that his family will be moving much further away from where Akari is living, so the two of them decide to see each other one last time before it happens. On Takaki's trek to Akari's train station, he faces continuous delays and the train is constantly stopped, the heavy snowfall preventing Takaki from getting to Akari. Takaki feels as if fate and nature is trying to prevent him from being with Akari. He feels as if the world is against their love. Another moment that reaffirms this is when the letter that Takaki prepares for Akari is blown out of his hands by a strong gust of wind. Takaki feels helpless, but yet he continues to persist because of love. He arrives at the station defeated, almost certain, and even hoping that Akari has just gone home because it's so cold. But he lifts his head to see her sitting there waiting for him at the station. They spend the night together, they share food together, and they even share a kiss. And to Takaki, all his struggle and all the hurdles did not prevent him from getting to Akari. And his heart is then filled with hope that even in the future, even if they are far apart in distance, those hurdles will not prevent their love. Shinkai eloquently uses narration to weave in the elements of the naivety of youth and the perspective that Takaki held at the time, this idealistic view and his inability to accept reality. The second part of the film is called Cosmonaut and is set in another town that Takaki and his family have relocated to, and he is now in high school. And it's primarily narrated by Kane Sumida, Takaki's classmate and friend, who also has an interest in Takaki. Shinkai offers insight into Kane's relationship to Takaki and how she is tormented by his unreciprocated love. She's unable to express her feelings and she feels absolutely helpless. She doesn't feel that Takaki feels the same way about her, and she feels ashamed to tell him how she feels about him. What I loved about this part was that it was taken from the perspective of Kane. After we had just gotten an insight into Takaki's previous experiences with love, it shows that characters don't exist in a bubble, just consisting of each other. They all have lived a life before meeting each other and have already experienced countless things. Kane comes to realize that people don't fall in love simply because one person has so much love for another. Every individual has their own emotional struggles. After having conversations with Takaki, Kane finally realizes this. He was never really thinking of her. He was thinking about someone else the whole time. And as the audience, we are clued into the fact that he's still thinking about Akari, and he still holds on to the hope that he may still have something with Akari in the future. However, at this point, Takaki's hope is not completely blind. He has grown wiser and maybe has come to accept the idea that he and Akari may not be together. He previously had been texting her, but then he chose to stop and instead just wrote messages to her but never sent them. I feel like this shows his maturation. In a way, he's making the decision to push beyond this previous naivety of ending up with Akari, and by stopping the text, it's in turn letting her go. He also doesn't want to be a burden to her. He wants to let her move on from him. However, he's still conflicted as he cares so much about Akari and questions his own actions and whether or not he made the right decision. This is an extremely realistic portrayal of the individual. We are contradictory and we are uncertain. We do things and we regret them. At times we are so sure of ourselves, and at other times we are so full of doubt. Part 3 is called 5 centimeters per second, and this part is full of sadness. Takaki continues to experience feelings of longing and sadness. He grapples with his purpose in life. He's had short-lived relationships since high school, however he still thinks about and holds on to the memories he shared with Akari. Meanwhile, we're also shown Akari is happily engaged to another man. I feel like this final part is a depiction of the two separate directions that these people have gone after being in the same place together many years ago. One was able to accept reality and let go of what they felt like was their happily ever after ending at the time, and the other was not, and was subsequently restricted from personal growth. I do feel, however, that at the end of the film, as Takaki walks past the cherry blossoms one last time, and Akari walks past him, or maybe it's his imagination, he realizes that she has moved on, and he smiles and does the same. But this scene is just really ambiguous, and it's done purposely this way to leave it up to your own interpretation. This story is a subversion of the happily ever after trope that we have become familiar with in traditional romance genre. Shinkai doesn't portray love in this story as some almighty, all-defying emotion. He offers a realistic perspective of love and the essence of a romantic relationship. Shinkai even goes further and offers a bit of a critique on the naivety of idealized romance, and the idea that if just two people just love each other so much that they'll be able to overcome any obstacles that get in their way. Shinkai also uses retrospective narration to allow an insight into the characters' thoughtful self-reflection and their own understanding of their ideas of love and the differences between what is realistic and ideal. Life is presented as bigger than the individual. There are factors beyond one's control, and if you refuse to move on and to grow, you'll just be stunted and left behind. It is definitely a bitter pill to swallow, and you may feel like, well, Tataki should have fought harder for Akari, or Akari should have waited for Takaki. But in this film, it's not about a singular story. It's not just about two characters. It's about the narrative of life. So much goes on in life, and is constantly going on, and no one can be in control of everything. I found this film absolutely beautiful, both through its visuals and message, and it is definitely a film that will stick with me for a while. Thank you guys for watching this video on my thoughts of 5 centimeters per second. If you liked it, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more content from me, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I'd also love to know what other people thought of 5 centimeters per second, so leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought the meaning of the film was, or what the film meant to you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.